My father left my family when I was 2 years old, and I was raised by a single mom who had to work. And she was struck at times to pay the bills, and was always able to give us the things that other kids had. And I felt like I didn't fit in. So I was always as focused as I should have been on school. And I did some things that I am not proud of. And I got in more trouble than I should have. And my life could have easily and taken a turn for the worse. But I was lucky. I got a lot of second chance. And I had the opportunity go to good jobs and law school and follow my dreams. My wife, our first lady, Michelle Obama, she has a similar story. Neither of her parents had gone to college, and they didn't have a lot of money. But they worked hard, and she worked hard so that she could go to the best school in this country. Some of you might have those advantages. Maybe you don't have adults in your life who will give you the support that you need. Maybe someone in your family has lost their job and there's not enough money to go around. Maybe you live in a next neighborhood where you don't feel safe, or have friends who are pressuring you to do things you know aren't right. Where you are right now does help to determine where you are and off. No one's writing your destiny for you. Because here in America, you write your own destiny. You make your own future. And that's why today I am calling on each of you to set your own goal for your education and do everything you can to meet them. But whatever you resolve to do, I want you to commit to it. I want you to really work at it. I know that sometimes you get that sense from TV that you can be rich and successful without any hard work. That your ticket to success is through craving or basketball or being a really TV star. Chances are you're not going to be any of those things. The truth is, being successful is hard. You won't love every subject that you study. You won't click with every teacher that you have. Not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. And you won't necessarily succeed at everything. That's first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are the honest who had the most failures. J.K. Rowling. who wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career, but he said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I success." These people succeed because they understood that you can't let your failure define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time. So if you get into trouble, that doesn't mean you're a troublemaker. It means you need to try harder to act right. If you get a bad grade, that doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you need to spend more time studying. No one's born being good at all things. You become good at things through hard work. You're not a varsity athlete the first time you play a new sport. You don't hit every note. The first time you sing a song, you got to practice at least to your schoolwork. You might have to do a math a few times before you get it right. You might have to read something a few times before you understand it. You definitely have to do a few drafts of a paper before it's good enough to hand in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. I do that every day. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength because it's so you have this courage to admit when you don't know something, and that then allow you to learn something new. So find an adult that you trust, a parent, a grandparent, or a teacher, a coach or a counselor, and ask them to help you stay on track to meet your goals. And even when you're struggling, even when you're discouraged, and you feel like other people have give up on you, don't ever give up on yourself. Because when you give up on yourself, you give up on your country. The story of America is not about people who quit when things got tough. It's about people who keep going, who try harder, who love their country too much to do anything less than their best. Fear is terrible, but necessary. If you are going to try something hard, if you're putting yourself out there in some way, there are going to be times where you screw up or you don't succeed. I think that's the most important thing it's to learn. I think that's the most important thing it is to learn from those failures and to have a sense of resilience and be able to examine what is it that I did not succeed at, why didn't I succeed, and what do I need to do better. When I talk to young people, I always tell them worry less about what you want to be and worry more about what you meant to do. We know that too many young men in our community continue to make bad cookies. And I have to say, growing up, I might quit a few myself. Sometimes I work up my own feelings. I just as another example of the work, trying to keep a black mind down. I had a tendency sometimes to make excuses for me not doing the right thing. But one of the things that all of you have learned over these last 4 years is there no longer any room for excuses. Excuses are tool of being confident. You set to avoid birthdays, to nerd her, and monuments of nothingness. Well, we've got no time for excuses. You have to remember that it pales in comparison to the hardship the first generation endures, and they overcame them. And if they overcame them, you can overcome them too. Spirit of excellence and hard work and dedication. And to exert in it no more than ever. If you think you can just get over it just before because you have oversight, you're in for a rude awakening. But if you stay hungry, if you keep hustling, if you keep on your going and get under, for nobody can stop you. And when I talk about pursuing excellence and setting an example, I am not just talking about in your professional life, but the best husband to your wife. Be the best father you can be to your children, because nothing more important. I was raised by a harried single mom, one of four grandparents, made incredible sacrifices for me, and I know there are mom and grandparents here today who did the same thing for all of you. But I sure wish I had had a father who was not only present but involved. Didn't know my dad. So my whole life, I've tried to be for myself and my girls. What my father was not for my mother and me. I want to break that cycle. Where fathers not at home. Where fathers not helping to raise that son or daughter. I want to be a better father, a better husband, a better man. It's hard work. This demands your contact attention and frequent sacrifice. And I promise you, Michelle will tell you I am not perfect. She's got a long list of my infractions. Even though I am still practicing, I am still learning, still getting corrects in terms of how to be a fine husband and a good father. But everything else is unfair. If we fail at family, if we fail at that responsibility, I know that's when I am on my deathbed someday. I will not be thinking about any pectoration I face. I will not be thinking about a policy I promised. I will not be thinking about the speech I gave. I will not be thinking about the Nobel Prize I received. I will be thinking about that while I talk with my doctors. I'll be thinking about a lazy afternoon with my wife. I will be thinking about sitting around the dinner table and seeing them happy and healthy and knowing that they were loved. Whether I did right with all of them. So be a good role model. Set a good example for that young brother coming up. If you know somebody who was not on point, go back and bring that brother along. Those who have been left behind, who haven't had the same opportunities we have, they need to hear from you. You have got to be hanging on the barber shop, on the basketball court at course. Spend time and energy and presence to give people opportunities and a chance. Pull them up, export them, support them, don't put them down. We've got to teach them just like what we have to learn. What it means to be a man. It's up to you to widen your circle of that everybody no matter what you look like or where you come from, what your last name is. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets a chance to attract those door of opportunity if they are willing to work hard enough. Success may not come quickly or easily, but if you strive to do what's right, if you work harder and dream bigger, if you set an example and do your part to help meet the challenge of our times, then I am confident together we will continue the never-ending ties of perfecting our union